What is happening, everybody? I am recording this January 20th, 2023. It's that time of the year where a lot of people, depending on where you are in the world, especially, could be falling into what is known as the January blues, that period in the year where we're more susceptible to falling into depressive states this time of the year, especially if you live in places like this, potentially where it's sort of darker and colder and lacking in sunlight, obviously, is a big one. Shorter days. A couple of years ago already, I remember recording a video. I was still here in Poland. I recorded a video about what to do about handling the January blues. So I thought this would be a good time to jump back in on that, sort of see what we've picked up, see if there's anything new to add to the conversation, and if anything, just to remind ourselves of how to best not only survive this time of the year, but also to thrive. So as I said, what is the January blues? I suppose it's about there being a certain number of variables that are contributing to one's risk of becoming depressed, right? And I suppose at this time of the year, you've got a slight increase in those contributing variables, especially if you live in darker places. If you're fortunate enough to live in a part of the world where you have better weather and all that kind of stuff, you might be better off in this case, and this might not apply to you so much. But for many of us, it's you're at greater risk, I would say, of being sort of affected by this January blues thing. And what this is really showing us is that it's really emphasizing, when you think about it, that there are these non-negotiable elements in our lives that we need to be continuously tending to, that contribute to good health, contribute to good mental health. And when we kind of get more of a sense of how at risk we can be, we realize how important tending to these important habits is. So it's really just a time of the year where self-care and really taking care of ourselves is emphasized. We're at that time of the year where not only the lack of sunlight is affecting one's mood, but we've also got other variables contributing to some challenges, like for many, coming out of the festive period where a lot of people might have had various rows or falling outs with family members and that kind of stuff, and it can be a stressful time of year in many ways domestically. A lot of people coming out of breakups and that kind of stuff, some people losing their jobs towards the end of the last year. So this can be a tough time for many, and a lot of these things can compound, and that's where the trouble lies, is it tends to be where a few things are leading to a kind of fever pitch low emotional state that can throw a lot of people off and make a lot of people miserable. So again, this is that time of the year where the need to really set in motion various habits that are going to be good for you are really emphasized. It's really key now that when there is a greater risk of getting depressed, you need to, more than ever before, perhaps, maybe you kind of get away with it during the summer months, but when in the winter, you really have to pay attention to those daily walks, the daily exercise, getting your face in the light. Even if there's not sunlight, you're still going to benefit from getting your face outside regularly, eating proper food. All of these things that I won't bang on about, but I'm just putting it in front of you as a reminder that you can get carried away, you can get depressed, and in that kind of depressed state, you're going to start potentially engaging all these various illusions and concepts and thoughts that aren't strictly true about you and your life. You can start taking things personally when you're feeling miserable, and you can start thinking about how, you know, there's something wrong with you, and there's, you know, the people, you've been wronged by other people, and you're very susceptible in this time of the year to you know, go down various rabbit holes of unhelpful thinking, cyclical thinking that is essentially you falling for various lies that you're putting forward that make you feel bad, and ironically compound the problem further, when the issue all along was that you simply need to be careful at this time of year in tending to those key fundamental habits. So I'm going to leave it to you to kind of figure out what are those key things that you need to do in order to ensure good vibes and feeling good about yourself. And it's not going to vary widely for many people. We've all got the same needs, and we need to tend to them. So eating well, not getting up too late, focusing on a purpose, a mission that's bigger than you ideally, daily exercise, you know, looking out for your friends and family and contributing and not getting too self-obsessed and self-absorbed. All that stuff that I talk about, it's all important and it's emphasized. So I'm not going to go on too much more about this. If you have any questions about this, do leave it in the comments. I wonder if there's anything else I could say on this. Just be aware. And I think the other thing to realize is that if you've got the expectation that things are going to be a bit harder, certainly at this time of year, that's going to make things easier. Because if you're, you know, bowled over by this sudden grip of malaise or depression, you're going to take it more seriously. If you didn't expect it in the first place and you're like, oh my God, I feel awful, what's going on? There must be something seriously wrong with me, and you take it personally, make it about yourself. It's not about you. This is something that affects everyone, especially if you have gotten lax about treating yourself with care. And having that expectation is going to make it easier to weather the storm, and especially if you use this time as a sort of incentive to get back on track with treating yourself well. In a way, it's kind of like nature's way of communicating to us that, you know, you got to take care of yourself, and you got to be even to the degree that it feels a little bit obsessive to take daily care of yourself and to move your body and to do all those things that humans need. You know, we're not just takeaway boxes that you can leave on the side of the road. We have to, you know, we're machines in a sense that we have to keep well treated and well oiled. I know that some people disagree with the idea that we're machines, but it is helpful to think of ourselves as being very sensitive systems, biological systems that need care. And it's very, very easy to get lazy about that kind of stuff and then wonder why you feel depressed. Well, everything is cause and effect, isn't it? If you haven't been treating yourself well, you're going to feel low, and it's a case of welcoming that, being grateful as well for the fact that your body gives you these signals continually. It's always giving you that kind of biological feedback. And if you feel depressed, it's just your body saying, look, you got to fix something here. You got to stop feeding me Cheetos, start replacing it with some proper food. So that's it from me, guys, today, I think. Saying goodbye from the river here as my face begins to freeze off. Any questions, any suggestions for future videos, leave them down below. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.